Space junk, debris, large and small, spinning uncontrollably in an increasingly cluttered universe. It's a lot.
Hello, today I present to you an extremely attractive application for music lovers. It's completely free. You can listen to music online or download unlimited music to use whenever you don't have internet. The powerful search function helps you find anything you want. Trust me. It's hard not to find what you're looking for because the search function is really powerful. Application download link is attached in the description of the video. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Thanks.
More than unsightly, it's dangerous. David Pogue reports on a collision course in the skies.
If you're going to be a character in a space movie,
Harvey, keep your eyes shut and exhale slowly.
you gotta watch out for space junk. Everyone knows that. It seems to happen a lot.
Debris from the missile strike has caused a chain reaction, hitting other satellites and creating new debris.
But what not everyone knows is that that plot twist isn't fiction anymore.
I got a call from my chief satellite officer. He said, we've lost track of our satellite vehicle, number 33, somewhere over Siberia. It may have been hit by something.
You didn't build this just for us?
Matt Desch is the CEO of Iridium, whose 66 satellites provide voice and data connections for governments, companies, air traffic, and shipping. In 2009, a defunct Russian satellite crashed into one of Iridium's.
So how bad was the damage?
Well, it completely took out our satellite.
The Iridium disaster was a wake-up call for the space industry.
There's estimated to be like 130 million tiny pieces smaller than the size of your thumb out there. And at 17,000 miles an hour, they can do damage.
The litter in low Earth orbit has become a constant danger to the International Space Station. In May, astronauts there discovered a hole in the station's giant robotic arm. Fortunately, the arm still works, but it was a lucky strike. This time,
the Air Force, the Space Force, are constantly monitoring the debris in low Earth orbit.
I spoke to astronauts Victor Glover and Mike Hopkins in April while they were aboard the space station.
Sometimes we have to move the station, sometimes we don't. So it is a constant, something that we're always worrying about up here and something that we have to be mindful of.
And if there's no time to move the space station?
Then you have to take shelter. Get in basically your rescue vehicle and be prepared to depart the station.
Peggy Whitson has spent more time in space than any American.
My second flight, I think we had to do one debris avoidance maneuver, and we did 3 or 4 on my last one. There's a greatly increasing number of objects out there.
There was an old saying that space is big. Not anymore. It's getting smaller and smaller by the day.
John Chryssidis is a professor at the University at Buffalo who specializes in space debris. Like many experts, he's worried about the Kessler syndrome.
In 1978, Donald Kessler was an engineer at NASA, and he predicted that debris would hit other debris, which would cause more debris. I think in 50 years, if we don't do something, probably the collision is going to be so great it's not even worth putting satellites up there. We definitely don't want to do that.
So what are the proposals for cleaning up our act up there?
There are many proposals right now. Unfortunately, none of them are feasible.
But that doesn't mean people aren't trying. In 2018, an experimental European satellite called the Remove Debris successfully ensnared a fake piece of debris in a net. And a startup called Astroscale has devised several approaches to cleaning up space junk.
None of us think that this is going to be easy, but we all know it has to be done.
Chris Blackerby is Astroscale's chief operating officer. In March, the company launched a satellite called ELSA-D that's designed to capture any piece of space junk that was fitted with a special magnetic plate. This summer, it will try to grab a fake dead satellite.
There's an arm that's going to extend out that has magnets on the end of it, and it's going to go and attach to that satellite.
But even if you can get all the technology to work, and even if you can figure out a way to pay for it, how much of the problem can Astroscale really fix?
We're never going to remove every piece of debris, but we think that we can put a significant reduction on the risk of future operations in orbit by taking these steps.
Iridium's Matt Desch isn't convinced by those efforts.
Technology can help. Unfortunately, it can't help soon, and it can't help in a big way. There's really no business case for that in the near term to make a big dent into space.
Meanwhile, our primary satellite traffic lanes are about to get a lot more crowded. Companies like Elon Musk's Starlink are in the process of launching mega constellations, thousands of tiny satellites designed to provide internet service all over the world.
Many other governments in the world have plans to create their own mega constellations, and there aren't rules of the road for all of us to work together effectively. I mean, there's not even the simplest thing of ensuring that people don't fly at the same altitude. You're just asking for problems.
Well, if you could wave your magic wand and solve the problem, what would the pieces of that solution look like?
We think the most important thing is don't create any more while we're still trying to figure out a technical solution for it. So if you have a problem with a satellite, don't launch another one. Another thing that's really important is that there has to be a lot more cooperation and coordination between everyone who is in space. Everybody has to communicate the information. You can imagine perhaps the Russians and Chinese have a problem coordinating giving all the information about their satellite locations to the U.S. Air Force.
In a way, this is sort of an age-old human story, whether it's us dumping plastic or us dumping chemicals or us burning fossil fuels. We don't really think through the detritus that we leave behind.
You're right. I mean, it's so-called tragedy of the commons. Low Earth orbit is a global resource that we all have to protect for the future because we don't get another one.